Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I was really flip-flopping whether or not this video should be put on my channel or if it should be put on the Hangout channel, but because the topic of today is going to be all about concerts and where do I post all of my concert vlogs and videos on this channel. So anything that I talk about or reference in this video, you can go find on the other videos on my channel. Because today we are talking about the 2023 concert Wrapped. This is actually really weird that I am back doing this. I haven't done a video like this in so long. Everyone loves a good Spotify Wrapped. Everyone loves to know what they already know. Like, was I surprised that Taylor Swift was on my Spotify Wrapped? No. Was I surprised that Noah Kahan would be all my top songs? No. Do you guys want to see my Spotify Wrapped? I can put it right here, somewhere. I'll put it up on the screen right now. This is my Spotify Wrapped. This will be like our segue into what we're talking about today, which is the 2023 concert wrap. How many concerts did I go to this year? Where were they? Who were they? What were the vibes? Did I cry at more or less? Were they stadium shows? Were they arena shows? What was the vibe of this year's concert adventures and everything? But first, before I get into all of that, here we go. This is my Spotify Wrapped for 2023. I don't know if this is exposing myself, but it's not surprising. Everyone posts it and they're like, oh, yay, I'm so surprised. This is my top artist of the year. As if you weren't listening to Taylor Swift on repeat from your drive to work, from your drive home, when you're in the shower crying, when you're getting ready in the morning, when you're preparing for the Eras tour. Literally, trying to know all her songs before you go and see her live and she pulls a surprise song and you're like, I should have prepared more. Anyways, my top artist this year was Taylor Swift. No surprise, Eras tour happened this year. We'll talk about that more later in this video. My second top artist, Noah Kahan. Low-key surprised that he wasn't maybe number one. I mean, Taylor's discography is like triple the size of his, so I get it. My variety is a lot slimmer with Noah than it is with Taylor, but Taylor's been here for a hot moment. We know. Noah, I swear I was listening to only Noah for the first 2 months of this year. I remember because it was the wintry weather vibes with Stick Season and his older work too. What else we have? We have Jonas Brothers. Yes, the tour happened this year as well. So Jonas Brothers Preparation. We have Dermot Kennedy's number 4. Yep, checks out. Yep, we went to go see Dermot this year too. And of course, Dean Lewis. So I love my men and Taylor Swift, clearly. And as I was saying, my top songs of the year, She Calls Me Back by Noah. Literally my favorite song. The bridge of that song, just taking a moment for it. And of course, New Perspective. When I first heard this song, didn't know what the lyrics were half the time, just really enjoyed the tunes and the vibes. And then I think Noah was on tour and he was talking about the song, about it being like how you should pull people back down and shove them to the ground. And there's liberals, there's rednecks, and there's Target mentioned in this song. So how could you not love this song? Of course, All My Love, love it. Another Noah song. You know that you are a Noah stan when your top songs from his viral track album, I guess, whatever album that has made him famous, because he's always been famous to me. So the virality of Stick Season never hit me because I didn't even realize it was going viral. But when Stick Season is not even in your top songs because you genuinely just love his whole discography and you're listening to the whole album like it's a masterpiece, because it is. But number 4 comes in with a little bit of a surprise. We got Dermot Kennedy with Kiss Me. And that song is just such a feel-good song. Y'all, I love that song. And then of course, back to Noah. Homesick. I think I was running on the treadmill one day and I was like, I had my headphones on and I was like, do, 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 do. And Jake was on the other side and he's like, I already know what song you're listening to. It's Homesick, because of just like the beat. Anyways, I listened to 27,000 minutes. And of course, my top genre was pop. Not surprised. So I guess we should just dive right into my concert wrapped for the year. I sort of made this little like notes memo to write down everything, to collect all of my shows that I went to, which I'm actually surprised. It seems like a lot fewer than what I was anticipating, but I feel like I also pulled a lot of big shows this year, like big shows. We're talking the stadium shows, which don't happen every single year, which artists don't necessarily get to pull every single year because these shows are massive. They take a lot of planning, and also I guess I'm still recovering from this pandemic, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. We're back in the concert world. We're back in person. We love it. Okay, so I'm just going to list off the concerts that I went to this year. First and foremost, I think this was in March, if I'm correct. I'm not too specific on the date timeline, but these are the artists in chronological order that we went to go see this year. And first off, we started with Joshua Bassett. That show, again, you can watch all the vlogs for these concerts that I'm listing. Most of them. Some of them I didn't bother vlogging with because there was no point. But Joshua Bassett, you can go watch that vlog. If you were at the Vancouver show, you know this man was literally like jumping all around the venue, and it was not safe. It was quite scary. And security was basically chasing him the whole entire time. Go watch it for more information. And next up, we had Taylor Swift in Las Vegas, night 1 and night 2. So then we also got to see Biba Doobie and Gayle. But then we also got a surprise from Marcus Mumford on the second night. We saw Gracie Abrams back in Vancouver. Then we got Dermot Kennedy. We had Dean Lewis, Valley. We went to Seattle to go see Taylor 2 more times, where Gracie Abrams and Haim were opening. And then we had Noah Kahan. We had Jonas Brothers over in Toronto. We got to go see Ed Sheeran at his theater show. We also got to see Ed play his stadium show, which had Khalid and Maisie Peters open up. I went to go see Lionel Richie with Earth, Wind & Fire with my parents and Jake. I went to go see Coldplay back at BC Place. We had Jonas Brothers, the Vancouver show, our hometown show, had guests with Michael Bublé and The Beaches. And then I ended my concert wrap with Shania Twain, which I personally don't want to talk about, not because Shania Twain was horrible, just because my experience at the show was just not ideal at all. It was absolutely not what I would love a concert to be like. But anyways, I'm not going to dwell on that. So, in summary, this girl went to 17 concerts this year. I feel like I'm probably missing a few here and there, but I wasn't necessarily attending the shows. Like, I did go photograph Jake at his tour. I went to some emo punk show at one point in time, but these were all like invites or media events, and those are technically, I guess, separate. So yeah, 17 concerts in total. 5 of those shows were international concerts in 3 cities, which were Seattle, Vegas, and Toronto. I had 12 hometown shows. 7 of those 17 shows were stadium shows. That's just insane. What? I went to 7 stadium shows? Whoa. I went to 5 arena shows and then 5 theater shows. And this is actually the craziest statistic I would probably say, is that a quarter of the shows that I went to this year were Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. A quarter! You're kidding. Did I really get to see Times Person of the Year for a quarter of the shows I went to? I am so grateful because I know that there are people who are just trying to get to see this girl once. And I am just so happy and blessed that I have gotten to go see her as many times as I did this year. And not only that, but she announced Vancouver, which means hometown Taylor show. Y'all, I'm not ready. I don't even think I've fully comprehended at the fact that, what is it? It's December 8th. So it's actually exactly a year from when Taylor will be in Vancouver next year. She has not been in Vancouver since 2015 for the 1989 World Tour, where, yes, in fact, Shawn Mendes and Vance Joy opened up for her. Let me just put that into perspective. That's so nuts. Whoa. The Eras Tour. I did an Eras Tour recap, concert recap on the Hangout, which you can also go watch over there. And we talk about the Vegas shows, which I filmed that before we got to go to Seattle. But the Seattle show was actually insane. So rewind to my Spotify artists, which I mentioned were Taylor, Noah, Dermot, Dean, and the Jonas Brothers. I got to see all 5 of my top artists this year in concert. What is going on, y'all? It seems like this is like the best concert year ever. Seems like I got to accomplish things by traveling, seeing my fave artists, crying. Oh, I'll get into the crying statistics too. Just wait. What else? Screaming, dying, breaking my legs and neck. I don't know. Not actually, but like y'all understand if you're on Twitter. But so I would like to base these next statistics off with just emotional memory and the physical toll that I was in post-concert, and very just like a guesstimation of it all, because there's no like actual way to like measure any of this. But these are categories that I thought would be really fun, that maybe you can look back at your concerts and be like, oh yeah, this was my blank concert. The first statistic I came up with was, which one of these concerts was the most exhausting show? Exhausting as in like mentally, physically, emotionally exhausting. And overall, there was one show that stuck out to me, like encapsulated everything from the emotional, physical, and mental, because whoa, I'd never been to a show that was as crazy, as loud, as energizing, as oh my gosh, that took you on this journey. And I feel like you guys know where I'm going with this, but the winner of the most exhausting show this year had to have been the Eras Tour Las Vegas Night 1. Ho 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 ho. I don't know if the factors of traveling to another city meant more exhaustion, walking around the city prior to a 3-hour show, walking along the Vegas Strip, lining up in merch lines for 2 hours prior to the show, not realizing where our seats were actually going to be, row 2 on the diamond, which I sometimes have nightmares still of, because there's no way in heck you are ever lucky enough to get seats like that in today's world of the Taylor Swift Ticketmaster fiasco. We were only lucky enough because the hype wasn't there yet. Nobody knew what this entire tour was going to turn into. Nobody knew that this show would be the highest grossing concert in the history of concerts. Taylor Swift was not the Taylor she is now at the end of this year. Like, this whole entire Taylor phenomenon has been absolutely insane, and I'm just here watching it all now as a fan, and I just, wow. Because like everyone knows, or the fans that were here knew, that she thought she peaked back in 2018, and now we're here. So I would just like to say that the Vegas Night 1 show was the most exhausting, because I was screaming, I was jumping for 3 hours straight in our cowboy boots, which then ended up in a result of us having to walk back down the Vegas Strip for an hour after, in this cold, frigid weather, in our little sequin dresses, and our feet were battered and bruised from going to this Olympics of concerts. It's like you train for this one day, as if she has trained for the Eras Tour as well. But it was the most exhausting, because also I had not seen a lot of TikToks yet. This was probably, if I'm correct, the third show of the tour, third or fourth. I don't remember the exact numbers, but Vegas was near the top of the roster, and we did not really know what to expect. We didn't know which era was coming after which era. Things were still in the air of like, oh, like she's wearing this outfit, this song comes next. Oh, like this dance happens, this break happens. And I will never forget when Reputation started, and we had no idea it was coming up. And there are videos of me and Maddie and our reactions just dying, because I don't know. I think we were also delusional too, to a degree, because there's only so much food and water and everything that you can have prior to the show beginning, because you're nervous. You don't want to pee in the middle of a show because you don't want to miss anything, as if you wouldn't want to pee in the middle of a movie. Yeah, so I think the most exhausting show of this year was Vegas night 1 for the Eras tour. That doesn't like take away from the fact that it might be one of the best shows I've ever been to. Exhausting as the definition being, whoa. Like I don't really know how to describe it other than just like it took such efforts to be at that show. And I had my Apple Watch on. I'm gonna find and see if I can put my Apple Watch results here. My fitness tracking. We were screaming, crying, jumping, dancing, singing for 3 hours straight. And I swear my Apple Watch died after. But anyways. Okay, and now we move to the most surreal show. Surreal to me can be put as so many things, but one that like left me in awe, maybe because it was sort of a bucket list show that I just always wanted to experience. And I think something with this show is that no matter where you were in this venue, every location would have been an amazing show. And so I didn't care where this group was on the stage. I was just there for the entire like essence and the energy and the vibes, truly. And I got to experience the show with my dad, so I think this is the most surreal show. And it was the Coldplay World of Spheres tour at BC Place. Wow, I think I still get like shivers or just like all moments that show was really like something I got to witness, because I don't know, I feel like I've just been always looking forward to hearing some of these the most iconic Coldplay songs live and seeing them perform on stage with the amount of lights and this sort of kinetic energy that they use and the confetti and the balloons and a lot of like interactive elements that they have with their show. And like even just talking about it right now, I feel like it is so surreal that I got to experience that. And I'm so happy and grateful. And like this is why I love going to concerts, is because these moments and memories are just so unforgettable and irreplaceable. Like actually, this is funny enough, after the show happened, I couldn't really sleep for 2 to 3 days after, because I would try to go to sleep, but that music and the sounds and everything would just still be vibrating in my body, that I would not be able to sleep because I was just at the concert physically and mentally. Going to sleep was just not an option. So my sleep schedule after that was super messed up. It was just like my whole body just felt so energized and like rejuvenated just because I got to go to this show. So I guess that makes it super surreal for me. And I was just like, I felt like I was in this dream element for a little while, and like the music and the energy, and it just like pulsated forever. And now I can just like feel it. I'll listen to a Coldplay song and it'll just like take me back to that show. And they did have 2 shows in Vancouver. And for the most part, if an artist is in town, I would love to go to both shows. Tickets were just expensive, and so I was only able to go to that one show. And somehow enough, that one show was enough for me. Like nothing else that could have replaced it. So yeah, that was probably the most surreal show for me this year. They also had Bryan Adams and her join on stage with them at the B stage, or C stage technically. They had so many stages. They were running around the venue. Okay, everyone has cried at a concert before, but which concert did I cry at the most? Well, I know there were 3 shows that I did cry at. I don't think any of the Taylor shows I cried at, unfortunately. The 3 shows that I did cry at were Dermot Kennedy, Dean Lewis, and the Jonas Brothers in Toronto. But evenly, I think I only cried at one song for all 3 of those shows. At Dermot, I cried when he performed Rome. It's a very emotional, reminiscing song. I was at Rogers Arena and I was standing there just looking at all of the lights, feeling the moment. And what's funny is that I think the year before, I got to see Dermot perform that song as he opened for Sean on his world tour. I think that was the first time I had heard that song, and for some reason it just hit me in the core and I just started crying to a song that I had never even heard before. And then when he performed it again this year on his own headlining tour, I was like, y'all, this song means a lot to me. And sometimes you just don't even know you're gonna cry at a show. You really just feel all these like waves of emotions come and hit you, and you're just like, your face is drenched. Dean Lewis, this was at the Vogue Theater. He wrote a song for his dad, and it's called How Do I Say Goodbye? Of course, a very emotional song as well. I was crying. Y'all, there's videos. You'd think at a Dean Lewis show you would cry a lot more because, yeah, a lot of his songs are sad and depressing. For some reason, it was only just that one song. And then, of course, the Jonas Brothers in Toronto. I have not seen these boys since pre-pandemic, which would have been 2019. And Nick sang A Little Bit Longer. And of course, A Little Bit Longer. We all know what that song is. Tears. I was crying. I was sad. But I was just so happy to be there in the moment too. So it's also like a mixture of sad tears and happy tears. Is a tie between those three shows. Because I like, none of the shows that I went to probably exceeded the one song that emotionally took me down. This is another one that I kind of just want to talk about because I feel like after the whole Taylor Eras tour thing, I need to talk about it. But which concert had the best tour merch? It wasn't the Eras tour. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. When I first saw that merch, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna save money. I'm not gonna get anything. And then I went to the show and I bought too much. But the best tour merch that I saw this year would have to be going to Noah Kahan. I loved the way this man's team and him maybe designed all the merch. I am one to not wear merch with the artist's face on it, just because to me, artist merch is more of like a graphic design, your separate outlet from your music, which is not necessarily used to promote you, but it's like to promote your art and sort of your vibe and essence and everything. So with like Taylor's Eras Tour merch, her face is plastered all over it with that like Eras Tour poster graphic, except for that blue crew neck, which everyone ended up buying and is so rare to find. And they ended up putting cap limits on it so people would not buy out the whole entire merch truck. Noah's merch was so cute. I think his sold out very quickly too. I had made the mistake of saving money versus buying merch, which I knew after the show had ended that I had made a mistake. I did not buy merch at the Noah Kahan show. And I was so sad because his merch was actually the cutest out of any of the shows that I went to this year. Even Jake bought merch. Sammy and Charlie bought merch too. And I was the only one that didn't buy any. And I was so sad. And I really wanted a black, gray, charcoal Noah Kahan tour hoodie. But guess what? My friends know me and they love me, and they ended up surprising me with some Noah merch for my birthday that they had gotten in Toronto. So I love y'all. Thank you for blessing me with this Noah merch. But yeah, they all got hoodies, and then Jake had got a t-shirt. The t-shirt is so nice. It's this like green foresty color with this white graphic on the front and the back. The front had just said Stick Season Noah Kahan, but the back had this like really nice foresty graphic. And that is not necessarily based statistically off anything. Personal opinion, for sure. I don't know if you went to a different show that you thought had like the prettiest merch. Please show me. I would love to see tour merch, because a lot of the time when I'm at work too, like I'll only wear concert merch because what else am I going to wear? Exactly. So that was the best merch. What else? What other statistics? I don't really have any other statistics in particular. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think, but sort of sums up my concerts this year. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for next year. At this moment, next year, I don't really have that many shows lined up yet. You already know yet, but I guess I'll wrap it up here. These concerts this year have been more than anything that I could have asked for. I love going to hear music live, see my favorite artists live. Throw me your concert raps too, because I would love to see how this year sort of panned out for you. And it's always nice to sort of like recap everything. Y'all, I have no idea what's in store, but I am so excited. I hope that I get to come back and do a either a clip show or blooper reel for the whole year and just do something fun like that. But I hope you enjoyed this concert wrapped video for 2023. I will see you all in the new year if I don't post anything in the next couple of days or weeks. But thank you so much for watching. Always thank you for following along on all my concert videos and vlogs. Do enjoy the holiday season. Make sure to like and subscribe, as I always appreciate it. I will see you all in the new year. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays!